What's happening, baby?
She had worked with the Hughes brothers. She really liked them. She had a good relationship with Tupac, and she just didn't want to get in the middle of it. And she thought, like, if she had done that movie, it would have been a little weird.
I wasn't in that bathroom, but, you know, it could have happened. But you're in the bathroom with this man taking a bath. So I don't know.
Larenz Tate just lit the internet on fire with his latest interview. He hinted that Jada Pinkett Smith and Tupac might have filmed something wild on the set of Menace 2 Society. And trust, this wasn't part of the script. And nope, it wasn't a movie scene. Fans online are in a frenzy trying to piece together what really happened off camera, and it looks like Jada's version of the story might not add up. She's been calling Tupac her soulmate for years, even going as far as describing a kiss between them as disgusting. But why would she do that? What's she really trying to hide? Larenz Tate is out here shaking things up, dropping his own truth bombs about what went down during Menace 2 Society. He recently sat down for a tell-all and spilled some juicy details about just how tight Jada and Tupac really were back then. Turns out, Jada actually had a shot at playing Delilah in Dead Presidents, but she turned it down. The real shocker? She told Larenz the real reason why she passed on the role years later, when the two linked up again as co-stars on the set of Girls Trip. What's the real story behind Jada, Tupac, and all these Hollywood secrets? So here's the real reason Jada turned down that movie role. It was all because the Hughes brothers were in charge. Here's the backstory.
Set in New Orleans talking about that experience. I said, well, Jada, I talked to the Hughes brothers and you were supposed to be in the movie. And she says, I was. I said, why didn't you do the movie? That they kept saying they had the character Delilah, you know, who was the sister of Juanita, okay, you was gonna be this revolutionary thing. And she was like, I just couldn't do it because at the time I was really close with Tupac, and Tupac had this sort of beef at the time with the Hughes brothers.
Tupac and the Hughes brothers had major beef. Tupac was actually cast to play Sharif, but things got heated, and the directors decided he was too much to handle, so they fired him. Alan Hughes even tried to call Tupac out on set, but Tupac was not about to just walk away.
I'm pretty sure that kind of fucked him up when he showed up at the set and he wanted to get down with him. Like, nigga, we finna go up here and fuck up some shit. It ain't finna be no talking, ain't finna be no, you know, explaining. Tupac, like, we finna pull straight up here because he probably knew they're not gonna do anything. So let's just go up in there and start some shit.
A few days later, Tupac pulled up to the set and things went off the rails. He actually threw hands with the Hughes brothers. That wasn't just talk. He got slapped with assault and battery charges for real, and he didn't even try to dodge it. Tupac straight up admitted what he did and ended up serving 15 days in jail.
They fired me, but did it in a roundabout punk snitch way. So I caught them on the streets and beat they behinds. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
like, I was
okay.
to the Hughes brothers, and it ain't over. I still got more than the
With all this chaos, Tate says Jada was loyal to Tupac and refused to work with the directors who had crossed him. She had a strong connection with Tupac and didn't want to be caught in the middle of the drama. Jada knew if she'd done that movie, the whole situation would have been awkward, and she just wasn't about to betray her friend like that. Honestly, it's no shock that Jada went all out for Tupac. He's the whole reason she landed a spot in Menace 2 Society to begin with. When the role of Ronnie, a single mom, came her way, Jada was straight up confused about whether to take it or not. She almost walked away from the role. But Tupac wasn't having it. He stepped in and convinced her to go for it. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, Jada even said, I was questioning whether I should do it or not. And Pac was like, look, just because I'm not doing it, you should still do it. She admitted, I probably wouldn't have done it without his blessing. Looking back, Jada's grateful Tupac pushed her to take the leap, because that role was her big break. After her debut, she went on to blow up with major movies like Set It Off and Jason's Lyric. Still, The fact that Jada passed up an opportunity like dead presidents just for Tupac? That's wild. Even Larenz was raising his eyebrows about her loyalty. There might have been something deeper going on between Jada and Tupac. Larenz Tate even believes Tupac wanted to be on the same project as Jada just to get closer to her. Because, let's be real, Jada wouldn't make moves like that just for any friend. And honestly, a lot of fans have always thought their relationship seemed a little too close. Jada and Tupac had been tight since their college days. And let's be honest, college is when most people aren't exactly holding back.
Met at Baltimore School of the Arts. It was the first day, and he came over to me and introduced himself. And in high school, Pac was a little funny looking.
The chemistry was always obvious. In one interview, Jada said, "PAC was new. It was my sophomore year. And he looked over and he saw me and he just targeted me. He had a little peanut head. He was just this happy, bouncy, energetic, just full of life, vibrant, and I was like, whoa." Jada never hid how she felt. She always called Pac her soulmate. She even said, "If there is such a thing as past lives, I definitely think that Pac and I have traveled a few together." And trust, that's not all. Word on the street is that Jada and Tupac really did get a little wild behind the scenes. The two of them actually kissed once on Jada's back porch. Both of them admitted they couldn't figure out why there wasn't any spark between them, so they decided to find out the truth the old-fashioned way.
Understanding that Pac and I had a hard time understanding why it just we didn't have it. And I talk about it in the book, that being on the back of porch of my house and we're like having this discussion. I'm like, okay, Pac, just kiss me.
Still, fans have never really bought her side of the story. Why? Well,
he kisses me and it's the most disgusting kiss between us both. I mean, he pulled back and I pulled back and I was like, "See, dummy," and from there it was just like, and then there was one more time he kissed me and it was just like, and I talk about that in jail when I go to see him in Dannemora. That's a whole nother thing. And once again, it's just like, dude, doesn't work.
Aside from everything that's already out there, Tasha K brought her on for an interview, and she didn't hold back. She said straight up that Jada is a certified liar.
Like, there isn't anything that she hasn't lied about, even the nature of her relationship with Tupac. Like, she claims they weren't ever sexual, and I think she did that in order to make Will feel better. I think, in my opinion, Jada would lie to anyone in order to save what she feels is their feeling.
But the real shocker? The assistant claims she once came home and caught Jada and Tupac in the bathroom together.
One time when Jada moved in with me, we were on Hughes in Culver City. And I remember coming home, she ran out of the bathroom and she's like, Tupac's in the Tupac's here, he's taking a bath. And, she came out with deer headlights. I don't know. I'm just saying I wasn't in that bathroom, but...
Now, come on. There's just no way Jada can explain that one without getting a whole lot of suspicious looks. Tasha even suggested that Jada freaked out because she was scared the assistant would run and tell her mom everything. But the assistant didn't hold back. She made it clear she wasn't about to stay quiet.
You were going to tell her mom that she was in the bathroom?
I mean, she's grown now. She's over 18. She's 19 or whatever.
Was Tupac famous at this time?
Yeah, I think he was with Digital Underground at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after all that, it's tough for anyone to believe Jada's version of events. And trust, that's only the beginning. Things got even crazier when Willow, Jada's daughter, wrote a letter to Tupac that had everyone on the internet talking. The letter said, "Dear Tupac, I know you are alive someplace. I think that my mommy really misses you. Can you please come back? Can you come back so mommy and me can be happy? I wish you were here. I really do. Love, Willow." That letter set social media on fire. People started asking all sorts of wild questions. One comment was, "Does anyone else find the letter Willow wrote kind of odd? Like, weren't her parents together at the time? Did Jada go around telling her kids that she's not happy with their dad and telling them she would rather be with Tupac, who had passed away?" That had a lot of folks side-eyeing the whole situation, and it doesn't stop there. Tupac's 1999 poetry collection, The Rose That Grew From Concrete, included a poem titled Jada, written for his childhood friend. Fans couldn't help but point to it as proof that there was more going on between them. But things got even crazier when Jada dropped a bomb during her interview on the All the Smoke podcast. She admitted that Tupac actually proposed to her while he was locked up in prison. Jada said, "I knew at that time that he needed somebody to do time with him, which I was going to do anyway. He didn't have to marry me to do that. She made it clear, I'm here. He needed a rock because of our friendship and everything we had been through together. He just wanted to feel that solidified foundation. With all these stories piling up, it's hard for people to believe that nothing ever happened between Jada and Pac, or that he didn't pull strings to get her onto the Menace 2 Society set just to get closer. But not everyone is buying into the rumors. Tyron Turner, who starred in the movie, straight up shut down the idea that Jada got her role just because of Tupac.
Version of it is that I forgot the girl that came in and she played in the house party, the black girl from House Party. I forgot. I keep forgetting. She was in Baby Boy as Tyree's mom. She came. I hate when I wish somebody get a Wikipedia or something and look that up real fast. Who that name is?
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah. I mean, it's no problem.
Because I don't want to disrespect her because I think she's a brilliant actress.
And you said what movie was she in?
She was in Baby Boy.
Baby Boy. Oh, you talking about AJ Johnson?
AJ Johnson.
Yeah, okay.
AJ Johnson came in to play my girlfriend.
Tyron explained that the directors held auditions to find out who vibed best with him on screen. Jada had to earn her spot just like everyone else. She went through the whole casting process. Nothing was just handed to her.
When Jada came in, we matched. The energy was there. I looked at Alan. Alan looked at me. We looked at each other and said, "That's the girl." So the Tupac thing, that was I don't think that was, maybe that was one of the things that she felt, or I know what me and Alan talked about and what we saw when we seen that energy. The same as when Larenz came in. Like we just knew the chemistry was there.
He also made it clear that Alan Hughes, the director, wasn't the type to give someone a job just because a friend vouched for them. In fact, when Alan tried to cast Tyron as the lead, the studio actually pushed back hard, but Alan went with his gut and picked Tyron anyway, even when the bosses were against it. On top of that, Jada has always denied ever having a physical relationship with Tupac. In one interview, she insisted there was no romantic spark because the chemistry just wasn't there. When the interviewer pressed her, saying their chemistry seemed obvious, Jada shot back, "It was almost like God made us that way. It was like, look, I'm gonna put y'all together, right? Y'all are gonna be a dynamic duo, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna make it so y'all are not gonna be able to get together, because that just wasn't the purpose." She even opened up in Time magazine about how real things were between them. Jada wrote, "There were no airs between us either. We could be raw and authentic. Without the constraints of having to impress each other, there were no butterflies, no tingles in the body, no hot desire to be in each other's embrace. Rather, there was something far more important unfolding between us. A friendship of a powerful strength, giving us the ability to hold space for each other through some of the most unbearable moments of our lives." But honestly, fans aren't buying the just friends story. A lot of people believe Jada is just trying to hide what really went down between her and Tupac, and nobody can figure out why. She's got a reputation for not always telling the full truth, and the internet isn't letting it go. One person online said, "There is far too much chemistry coming out of those pictures for absolutely nothing physical to have happened. With everything she said about Tupac and how close they were, it's tough not to question what really went down. And don't forget, Larenz was even side-eyeing what Jada and Pac were doing together on the set of Menace 2 Society." But what do you think? Was there more going on between Pac and Jada? Or was it all just rumors and wild stories? Was Larenz onto something? Or was it all just speculation? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this wild deep dive, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more juicy stories, and share this video with your friends. Make sure you comment your take, and I'll see you in the next one.